Welcome to the madness when news meets the crazy Super Sunday wrap up where we keep it hazy. Pop culture pandemonium, the same with galore. Grab your popcorn, sit tight, let's dive in for more.
Well, good morning, everybody. Happy Sunday. It's good to be here. And Kitty has her salad.
It's not a salad. It's meatballs. They're very bad looking, but they taste okay.
Oh, what are they made of?
Minced meat, beef.
Beef?
Mm.
Sure.
Really happy to have just a good wrap up.
Bob, how's your week been? I'll just give some background music to you there.
Yes, give me some background music. The week has been it's been very interesting. Watched a little bit of the draft from Raw and SmackDown, which was interesting. I don't watch SmackDown too much, so I'm glad Nia Jax is over there now. So now I really don't have to watch on Fridays. So that's amazing.
Awesome.
But yeah, it's been all right.
Cole, how was your escape from the FBI?
A little good. Got caught up a bit there near the end in the corner, but was able to make it out.
Oh, beautiful.
I love the little whoa-whoas.
Oh, whoa.
The backing singers are great.
We're just listening to it. We want to hear the
Yeah,
origin.
he's enjoying it too much.
Yeah, okay. I can't really think. I'm just being reminded of the shitty AEW moment the other day, so...
Oh, well, let me do this real quick, and then you won't have to think about
there we
that.
go. Yeah, much better. Okay.
But,
God, what the fuck was that movie with Jesus Christ? Whatever.
The movie with
what was
Jesus
that
Christ?
movie with
Well, there
Jesus
was
Christ?
Jesus Christ Superstar.
No, that move. God,
Last
whatever.
Dash.
The Last
the
Temptation
Meltzer-
of Christ.
The Meltzer driver? You're talking about the one that he took?
Oh yeah, the Meltzer driver. Yeah.
That, well, let's see. First thing he does is he takes a little smile there happening from Jack Perry.
This is the best.
This is where he takes the wrong bump for the move that he's given.
Yeah.
Which he takes a
I have
punch
a hard
to the
time
gut.
believing.
Takes a gut punch, and boom, takes a back bump. Falls flat on his back, and then remembers, oh, I gotta sell the gut. So he gets to finally play with his toys, and I'm excited about that for him.
Yeah, but he fucked it up. How do you do that?
You do it on your first bump ever, on your first move ever in the ring.
Listen.
Usually it happens on the indies, but it happened to be on primetime TV for him because he's the owner.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna say he's not that much of a fan. Then there's no way you've been watching wrestling as long as you have, and you sell a punch to the gut like that.
That was a perfect back bump, by the way.
I mean, it was a great back bump, but it doesn't make sense for what just happened to you.
His arms came down. He protected his back. He kept his head tucked in. He didn't bounce his head. So he did it great. And now, here's what they now call the TK driver, because his name is Tony Khan. Previously, the Meltzer driver. Might have even been the Meltzer driver 98. Who knows?
What was that?
Well, they dropped him on his head.
But he had to do it while the other guy jumped.
Yes, that actually is supposed to look like he helps him drive it down even further to murder
Yeah,
him.
it didn't really look like that, but...
Well, no, he protected him far more than he would have protected anybody else because that's the guy who writes the checks.
Well, that's too bad.
So you have this going on here, and that's what happened at True Eyes to the Product.
And then doesn't Old Man Khan come out there at some point? Just stand in the ring staring at everybody?
Oh, yeah, he came in looking like he was going to fire everybody. Nope, I don't have it. No.
Right.
But, that puts us right here where Tony Khan is all in and takes a bump. So
Not
let's
only
see,
that, not only did he take the bump though, then he showed up the next day, I believe. Was it like the draft day for NFL draft? He showed up with his dad
That's
for the NFL
right.
draft.
NFL Draft Day. Tony Khan shows up in a neck brace selling the near-death experience that he had.
You know, AEW, we've been doing this for fun.
That's the wrong one.
On the clock, 17th overall, but they traded down as Tony Khan becomes the first ever NFL executive in a draft room, shaking off the effects of a pile driver he received on national television in a wrestling ring the night before. Such is life when you mix AEW and the NFL. Tony Khan, hang in there, buddy. Hang in there. That's it.
Man.
So yeah, he sold it, and everybody was talking about it, and most people were upset with it. The big-time wrestling fans didn't like it. They thought he was pretending to be one of the previous owners of some of the previous wrestling companies. They all thought it was pathetic and sad and overreaching and everything else like that. So the thing is, let me get down here to turn this down one more time. Is that not only was the wrestling world talking about it, the entire sports conglomerate, if you will, was talking about it. The NFL had an article about it. It was on major news outlets. Yeah. And for the entirety of the draft, Tony Khan wore the neck brace. Now, what does that do for wrestling fans? Absolutely nothing. What it does do is it shows something interesting to people in the exact same demographic as the wrestling fans. That's the NFL. Now, what do you know about NFL fans? They're diehards. They live and breathe their sports entertainment. They go out there in the middle of winter, half their body painted the colors of the sports team of their choice, and they buy season tickets, and they watch every single game, and they will follow their sports team no matter what channel they're on, which is why everybody is going after live sports now when it comes to streaming channels. And it's why Tony Khan wore the brace. He's not looking for wrestling fans. He's looking for whales, those diehard 1% that will not leave his side once they get hooked on his product. That's who he's going after. And that is the people that he's looking for. So all the casuals out there, not really their concern. All the wrestling fans out there that think it's either a good idea or a bad idea, not his concern. He's not looking for them. He's looking for the 1% of people that found that interesting, that will show up for the next show and bring his product higher and higher and higher. So he's fishing. He's whale fishing. That's what he's doing. Gray, we didn't get to say hi to you before we jumped into this. How's it going?
Fantabulous. Everything's going great, man. Excited to be here. Woke up late, but good times. You know, it's Sunday.
It's Sunday. Yeah. What did you happen to think about the whole Tony Khan taking a bump and continuing to wear the brace?
I think he could have sold it a little bit better in the moment, but you know, the commitment to the long game, I got to respect it. But you know, I've seen worse. He appears to be having a good time. You know, he was really smiling at the draft coverage, if you will. You know, I think he's having a great time, so it's all worth it because he's entertained. I don't know. I think it's been done before. I don't really have a problem with it. Just, yeah, I think he could have sold the actual move a little bit better.
Seems like it. Like, to my normie eyes, it didn't look that good.
Didn't look that devastating. It looked like a Kama Sutra kind of action going on.
Yeah, it was like, what's happening? We waited a long time for it to. So I'm like, okay, not exciting.
Yeah, there was a little bit of a build-up there. But Cole, I need to let you know that AEW is not the only one going after the diehard football fans, because the NFL has just announced this weekend the first ever officially licensed NFL Legacy title belts.
But okay.
Oh my goodness.
They do, but they're going after the whales too, and they have been, because Pat
they're
McAfee,
making them in larger sizes?
Yeah. The Pat McAfee is a football guy and has his own podcast and everything else, and they bring him on Monday nights to do commentary on Monday Night Raw. So they themselves are actually fishing for these diehard sports fans as well. It's something that that everybody's looking to do these days, which is expand beyond their core fans and move into expanding it to other areas.
But isn't there a fundamental difference in the kind of sports we're talking about here?
Yes.
Well,
One
there's
written
wrestling you do for wins, and football you do for points. When it comes to pre-planned outcomes, it's 50-50 on whether they both do it.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree with that.
Like they're not officially doing it.
They're both they're both covered by betting sites. So, who knows? What the real difference is. But Tony Khan didn't stop there either. He couldn't help himself, and he had to take a shot.
AEW, we've been doing this for 5 years. We are the most successful sports startup since the AFL. Pre-merger. There has not been a challenger brand that has gained as much market share as AEW in many, many, many years. We are like the Pepsi of pro wrestling, and we're up against a really evil juggernaut. WWE is our competitor. That's who we're facing. AEW, like the Pepsi of pro wrestling. WWE's like the Harvey Weinstein of pro wrestling. And I'm really proud of what we do down here.
I think all right, Tony. All right, Tony.
Wow. Lots to unpack there.
There's, you wonder why he would say something like that. You think maybe that he's
that just
going
makes
up.
him look worse. I don't really think that's going to make people watch AEW, but okay.
Well, you wonder why he said something like that. It's like it's not because of Vince McMahon, because Vince McMahon's been outed. Vince McMahon is no longer part of the company. Vince McMahon is selling all of his shares. However, there are people that are still there Tony Khan is still there, and he's the president, CEO brand, and apparently is also named in the lawsuit against him. And then just this past week, Tony Khan decided he was going to liquidate all of his stock as well, just like Vince McMahon. So maybe he's insinuating something about the entire company, that it's still sort of involved in this whole Harvey Weinstein style mess.
Which is, I think that's fine if that's what he's going. I mean, my big hang up was on the fact that he said AEW is the Pepsi of the wrestling world. Like, that is, they're more like the Faygo of wrestling. Now, I would accept that, but you're not going to tell me that you're the Pepsi when WWE's been around for, God, how many years now? How many decades? I mean, since the
Faygo's
early
kind of
days
regional. They're a little bit more across. I think like Shasta or like I don't know what the RC Cola, something like that.
Yes, like that's very acceptable. And we're the RC Cola of wrestling. I would have applauded him for that. But saying you're the fucking Pepsi and then comparing, I kind of get where he's going with the Harvey Weinstein comparison. But it's all right, man. I don't think the NFL draft is the time to be doing this. But okay.
Yeah, not. But the Weinstein comparison, I will just say, he's probably correct when it comes to that. There's definitely probably still people there, involved.
Sure.
However, I would say that's kind of the entire industry, though. They've been pretty backwards for a while. They're still catching up, similar to the video game industry. Like, there's still definitely some in New Japan, Ring of Honor, TNA probably, and there's probably some who work for him right now. That's just the entire industry, sadly.
I mean, not that it's like a great distinction to make or anything like that. Has Weinstein ever been accused of not paying like his victims? I think even there might be a little bit.
No, most of them he got
That's
Oscars.
a lovely idea.
Yeah, they got paid in Oscars,
Ooh, yeah.
Stay tuned for the madness on your YouTube TV.